So good morning, everyone. Glad to see everyone here, and thank you for taking the flexibility to listen to what I say at 9 a.m. in the morning. I know it's not trivial. Like Javier mentioned, my name is Asaf, and I'm a recruiter or talent acquisition, as we call it today. I've been a recruiter for more than 10 years, and I'm here to talk to you today about LinkedIn and how you can and should leverage LinkedIn in order to help you in probably one of your most important tasks ever since making Aliyah, which is to resume your career, find the next job in Israel. And I know it's not always easy, especially in this time and period of time in the job market, let alone if you are an Ole or Ola Hadasha, which adds another layer of complexity, and we'll talk about it. But the good news is that today we're going to be discussing exactly what you can do in order to stand out from the crowd, in order to show yourselves and increase the likelihood of being noticed and getting closer to the actual job opportunity. So I'd like to begin with a short question. So it's a safe space. Don't be shy. Everyone here is Ole or Ola Hadasha, just like you, except me, of course. With a raise of a hand, you can actually raise your hand or use the reaction feature. How many of you have been to a job interview in the past 30 days? All right, I see Lyudmila, Rostislav, Daniel. All right, good. And so yeah, a minority, I see. Okay. And all right, and also Igor, great. So among all those who were in an interview in the past 30 days, are you still in the process? Ludmila nods. Daniel says no. Igor is no. All right. So here's a little sample, which is obviously not representative, but I was asking this in order to kind of like make a case. And the case is that Olim and Olot, when you actually face the task of looking for a job, okay, a task which some of you probably have experience in your origin countries before coming to Israel. You know what it takes. You know who's against who and how to do it, and you try to replicate it on your job search in Israel with lesser results. To say and to mention an understatement. Now, why is this happening? I mean, you haven't changed, okay? You're still the same you, okay? And the Israeli market, I can only assume that if you came from a first world country, it's not that much different from other first world countries in terms of composition of roles and companies and so on. So what happens? What happens is what I call, quote unquote, an unfair disadvantage that Olim and Olot have. And in order for us to get to get a little bit deeper into the root cause of why does it happen, I would like to take you into the shoes of a recruiter. Okay, like me, like some of the other people who are recruiters in this country, and I'll try to take you to like a thought exercise of what it's like to be a recruiter and why does it happen. So let's assume that you found a job requisition. You read through it, you read through the job requirements and you think, oh my God, this really is like stating everything that I can do and everything that I've been doing. So I want to apply fast, and I'm completely confident that as soon as my resume lands in the recruiter's inbox, they will read through it and they will see that I'm a great match. Boom, they will call me in for an interview. Okay, so a big smile spreads on your face. Let's assume that it's evening time. So you submit your resume, you go to sleep with a smile on your face, you wake up the next day, you rush to your computer or to your phone, open your email inbox, and not a lot is happening there. Crickets. Cricket sounds. Okay, you wait some more till afternoon, till the day after, but still no response. Okay, So how come what you felt really confident in terms of your match against job requirement goes virtually unnoticed by a company that advertised this role? So I'll take you, like I promised, I'll take you behind the desk of a recruiter to understand how it works. So I'm sure that you all know, and it's no secret, that you're not alone. Okay? With you, there have been other people who have applied for the job. Could be 10 others, could be 30 others, could be 50 or even 100 other applicants to this job. Okay? When the average recruiter opens their email inbox or their CRM system for that matter, and they look at 30 resumes of candidates, okay? It's really time consuming to go through each and every one in detail, in depth. So what do we do? The method that most recruiters work by is like skimming the document, going through it very quickly, and looking for what I call anchors, like an anchor of a ship. Okay, what are these anchors that we're quickly looking for in a person's resume? Um, Really, two types of anchors. The first, basic anchors. The first one is the companies that you've been working for, and the second one is your academic history, the universities from which you've graduated. Okay, just looking at these lists of companies or universities can already give a recruiter a certain signal of who you are and what you've been doing. Okay, the companies that you've been working for. If I identify the companies as companies that are in the competitive landscape of my company, okay, then I see, okay, this person is from the industry. Okay, he knows our domain. If I see like large companies that are well known, and I see that you've been working in a well known company or a successful company for a certain period, even a long one, I can estimate, I can assume that you've been a part of this company's success. Okay, so you probably are a successful person. Otherwise, they wouldn't have retained. Same goes for universities. If I see that you've graduated from acknowledged, prestigious universities, then I can deduce about your professional quality. Okay, so that's what recruiters typically quickly look at your resume. Now, I'd also like to present an open question to all of you right now. You can just unmute yourself and shoot the answer or use the chat box. How much time do you think that it takes an average recruiter to go through your resume and make a decision, move or reject? Let's hear those answers. 30 seconds, Daniel writes. Maxim says 10 seconds. And Catherine says 2 minutes. Okay. We have a little variety here, but I see that most people tend to like a few seconds. So anyone who wrote anywhere between 20 seconds to 30 seconds are probably right. Okay. And it's kind of like it can make you angry a little bit. I mean, hey, I actually invested a lot of time in crafting my resume, in changing the words, in rephrasing, in changing the font, in moving stuff between places. And all the grace time that it's going to get is 20 seconds. That's unfair, right? Now, I want to tell you that recruiters don't do this because they're evil or because they're lazy, okay? They don't do it because of that. Recruiters do it because they need to be efficient. Okay, they have a lot of work. They need to move quickly. Okay, we all are probably, and that is why we are looking for these anchors and are initially investing somewhere around 20-30 seconds in average in reviewing your resume before making the decision. Let's move forward or let's reject. Now, I talked about those anchors, right? So when they are looking at your resume document, okay, they start reviewing it and they're looking for these anchors. Look at the companies that you've been working for, and they think like, what are those companies? I never heard of those. I don't have any information about them. They don't come across as familiar. Okay, let's move on to look at this person's education history, which universities they graduated from. And then they're looking at your universities and they think, oh gosh, those are probably not in Israel. Okay, I can't really say if if that's a good institution, if that's like a mediocre institution, or what have you. And at that stage, they roll their eyes up to look at your name, and they look at your name and they think, hold it, wait, this is not a Hebrew name. Is this person even an Israeli? Okay, so that is why what I call an unfair disadvantage, because it's a disadvantage compared to like the average Israeli candidate, which for which the recruiter can quickly understand the companies that they've been working for, the universities that they've graduated from, etc. Okay, so it's a disadvantage and it's unfair. Why? It's unfair because the university that you've graduated from can be no less prestigious and perhaps even more than Tel Aviv University, Technion, Ben Gurion University, what have you. The companies that you've been working for can be as relevant as other Israeli companies, but they just don't have presence in Israel, so they're not really well known here. Okay, and even beyond those dry details, okay, one thing that every Ole and Ola should remember is that each one of you has a unique combination of skills that actually the average Israeli candidate doesn't have. Okay, I mean, let's first talk about languages, for example. Okay, we're sitting here conducting this session in English, right? So I only make an estimation that all of you can have a conversation in English at a good level, right? This in itself already separates you from the average Israeli. And I'm sure that your experience, and I see some smiles. Many Israelis claim that they have good English, that they have conversational English, and then you start talking to them, and you face stutters. Well, I don't know what's the word for it. Okay, so all the people here already predominantly have probably a better English, definitely conversational, than the average Israeli. That's one. But also, one thing you need to remember is that you actually bring something that is of uniqueness to the Israeli job market because you come from a different country. You are versed in other corporate cultures. You, first of all, if you might have some interaction with relevant stakeholders in other countries that Israeli companies want to break into. But even more than that, on the basic level, you can introduce diversity to any workforce, and I'm talking about thought diversity. Okay, like for example, and I'm sure you heard about it, like especially in startup companies or tech startup companies, it's based a lot of people who know each other from their military service, right? And they go together since the military service, right? So they group together. But here's the risk, and that's why a lot of startups actually fail. Okay, why do they fail? Because everyone follows the same method of thought. Okay, they are all perceiving reality in a very similar fashion. There's no one to challenge them. Okay, and the most successful companies in the world and in general rely on diversity, on people who can challenge the norms, who can challenge the axioms. Okay, that's where you come in. Okay, each person here has a unique experience from different companies in different countries, and you can actually come as an outsider to a certain company and say, hey, why don't we look at things from a different angle? Here's how we did it at the company that I went from. Let's give it a shot. Okay, let's try to think differently about things. Let's try to think outside the box. Here's a suggestion based on my experience. Okay, this is unique, and this is unique to each and every one of you. So I want to stress this because even though there's like an unfair disadvantage, and sometimes you're feeling angry or frustrated about it, okay, don't be. Because really all it takes, is one potential employer that will realize that. And how will they realize that? How will they realize that they're facing someone who's not just a resume document? If you get an interview, right? If you get to speak to somebody on the phone, or even better, meet someone face to face, preferably who shares the profession with, and you can actually talk to them, and you can actually explain what you've been doing and your accomplishments and what you can bring to the table, they will see. They will understand what's unique about you. So that, in my eyes, is your number one goal right now, okay? Getting an interview, because that will dramatically increase the likelihood of potential employers realize your value, okay? Now, the problem, as we see here, as I asked before in the beginning of this session, is that not a lot of you has actually gotten to the interview stage in the last 30 days, right? Or even before that. So that is exactly why you're here today. And I'm here today in order to teach you some tactics and strategies on how you can utilize LinkedIn, okay, efficiently, in order for in the stage, in that moment of truth, so to speak, okay, when the recruiter reviews your resume, they won't just quickly pass you, swipe you left, as they say, okay? They will see that there's something beyond there, and they will invest more than the average 20, 30 seconds, and they will say, you know what, let's call this person for an interview. Looks interesting, even though I never heard of the companies that they work for or the universities they graduated from. Okay, so that's what we're going to be discussing today. My talk is going to be divided into two parts. On the first part, I'm going to be talking to you today about how you can proactively use LinkedIn in order to get the attention of recruiters. And on the second part of my talk today, we're going to be going through how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile so as you will be more easily noticed and intercepted, so to speak, by the nets that recruiters, headhunters are casting on LinkedIn in order to find very specific talent. Okay, that's the main LinkedIn screen. Most of you are familiar with it, on how it looks like on desktop. Now, let's take you to a scenario which you've all been probably facing recently, okay? You've been browsing career sites of certain companies that you find of interest, or you've been browsing LinkedIn jobs. We won't go through it right now, okay? And you identify an interesting opportunity that you want to apply to, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to be teaching you is, before you apply, don't apply it, okay? Let's go on LinkedIn. Let's open a new tab on LinkedIn, and let's do a little bit of research about this company, because you might find very interesting insights that can actually help you in the process. And what do I mean? Okay, so the first thing you do when you identify an opportunity that you'd like to apply to, you go to this search box on LinkedIn, okay? And in this search box, you just type the company name, okay? Now, let's take just one company as an example. I'll use the company called Taboola, which is a large tech company in Israel. And when you start typing it and you're typing its name, LinkedIn gives you some suggestions, okay? Usually the first one should be the one you should go to. Like you see here Taboola company. There's also Taboola GRCN, DACH, France, or whatever. But you need this one, okay? Usually the first one. So let's click on this and see where it takes us. Okay, so here's the search result. And you can actually click on the company page. I'll just open it on a new tab. Let's just take this here. So yeah, here's the company page. Sorry for that. Yeah. So here's the company page. Let me just and when you open it, you're getting to something that pretty much resembles a LinkedIn profile of a person. There's like the company logo, the name, and some description here, about section, page posts, and what have you. But the interesting thing is this part where it says Dana and 32 other connections work here. Okay, this actually gives you a social insight about the company. Okay, it means that LinkedIn actually identified that somebody in your network of connections works for Taboola, the company that you're about to apply your candidacy to for a role. Okay, And this is important. This is clickable, by the way. And when we are going to be clicking on this, we'll be taken, show you exactly how it looks like. Let's clean this. LinkedIn. So when you're clicking on this, you're actually being taken to a LinkedIn search result page with 33 results. And all of these people, okay, are my first connections, okay? You see here, first. Okay? This means that you might not have even known this, but some people you know, or even one person you know, works for that company. And this is material. This is instrumental, potentially, in your job search for that company. Why? Pretty simple. Because a lot of companies in Israel, definitely tech companies, but also non-tech companies, have an employee referral program. Okay, and I can only assume that probably some of you are familiar with what an employee referral program is from your previous employers, for example. Okay, it's a program under which companies incentivize their existing employees in providing them with candidates for the roles that they have open. And if someone gets hired, the referring employee gets a very generous bonus for it. Okay. I hope it's not the first time you hear about such a bonus scheme for referrals. Can I see some nods? All right, good. Thank you. Good. So here's something that you can actually leverage in your favor and very quickly. Okay. And why is that? Here's another glance behind the desk of a recruiter. Recruiters are typically prioritizing candidates who arrived through a company referral over candidates who just applied for a role without any other source of information. Okay, and this is for a pretty good reason, by the way. Okay, because for all recruiters I know, all of them, the highest level of successful hires were resulting eventually from people who were referred to by existing company employees. Okay, so that is why if you are being referred to a position versus just applying, you have a much more significant chance of getting the attention of the recruiter and not just being quickly disposed of because they don't know how to read your resume. First of all, you get to the top of the list. And secondly, you have a higher likelihood of the recruiter devoting more than just 10, 20 seconds to review your resume and thinking outside the box. Why? Because you were reviewed by a company employee and they know that statistically speaking, with those candidates, they have a higher ratio of success. Okay? So you need to be mindful of that. And you should leverage it and try to leverage this in every single job that you're trying to apply to. Every single one. Okay? And as we just saw, LinkedIn gives you this option really easily. Okay? Just look for the company on LinkedIn, click on the company page, and voila, you get this insight of how many people that you know currently work in that company. And once you have this insight, it's even easier to just message somebody, right? Like this guy, Dimitri Pantlev, and write, hey, what's up? I just noticed that Tabula is hiring for a senior marketing associate. I'm very interested in this position. Would you be able to refer me or connect me directly to your recruiters? Okay, simple as that. Okay, now when you do this, you need to remember one more thing. First of all, it's no longer just you throw your resume and you don't have a clue on who's the person who is reviewing your candidacy. If this person connects you to the recruiter, now you have a direct channel to interact with, which is a plus. Additionally, okay, you actually win yourselves a company advocate. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, let's assume that a recruiter is not so efficient. Okay, let's take two assumptions. First of all, a recruiter is not too efficient, and they kind of like drag the legs and take their time with reviewing candidates for a certain position. Here's one scenario. The other scenario is, well, they looked at your resume and they rejected it. But you have someone in the company who is capable of nagging this recruiter and say, "Hey, what's up with the candidate that I referred? Are we moving forward with them? Okay, he's really a great person. I know him personally. I worked with him, etc., etc. I really think we should consider him. And even though you rejected him, I mean, allow me to present a different point of view. Okay, this person is your advocate, and this person can be actually the change factor between being rejected and being considered. And they have a pretty good reason to do it. Okay, first of all, because they know you and they want to help you. And secondly, because there's a bounty in the end, right? They're looking to get the bonus eventually if you're hired. Okay, so this is a great tactic to promote yourself in your job search with a certain company, with someone who's like an internal advocate. Questions up until now?
What do I do if I don't have a first connection, but
Okay,
maybe
we'll
I
talk
see a second or third connection?
Yeah, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But
Okay.
right now, I'm talking about like using your first connection.
Okay. And I actually, another question, I had a scenario like that I saw a job. I had a former colleague working at the company, and I asked her to pass on the CV, but I never heard back actually. So should I mean, now it's too late. It's like 2 months ago, but
Yeah,
next time, should I nag the former colleague or?
why not? Why not? I mean,
Okay.
you know, there's nothing to lose from doing
Yeah.
this, right? It's for their benefit because if you eventually get hired, they get a bonus.
Yeah.
So why won't you? And plus, she's your former colleague, so she knows you, and
Yeah.
I assume that she has some will to help, right? So why
Yeah.
not? So like Catherine asked, eventually, I mean, you know, I'm hyper connected probably, especially in the Israeli job market. But what happens if you look at the company page and there's nothing here? Okay, you don't see that. You still have a way to do. Okay, because the other thing that I want to draw your attention to is this part. Okay, why? Because this is also clickable. Okay, when you click here on 1K to 5K employees, you will also be taken to a search result page. And let's have a look on how it looks. All right, so this is pretty similar, okay? But here we have 1,700 results, right? And all the people that I see here are my second or even third connections, okay? A second connection means that you have 1 degree of separation from this person. I mean, you're not connected directly to them, but you have mutual connections. And third means that you have 2 degrees of separation from. And you will notice that the difference between looking at your first connections is here, the prompt always says message, message, message. Oops, okay? But when you look at people who are not your first connections, the default prompt is just connect and not message. Okay, why is it like that? Pretty simply because LinkedIn doesn't want to become a platform where people spam each other. Okay, so it introduces some kind of like a barrier.
But you
Yeah.
can still message them if you pay for
Yeah, but I'm not going to. Yeah, that's right.
Should we
but
be paying premium or not?
I'm not going to recommend you to spend a single penny today on anything. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not here to sell anything, right? All right. So you looked for the company. You want to see if you have someone you know in that company. Circumstantially, you don't have, but don't give up just yet. Okay. So now, if you don't have anyone who you know in the company, now you can safely apply. submit your resume, submit your candidacy. But now LinkedIn can actually help us to get closer to the decision maker. And by saying the decision maker, I mean LinkedIn can actually help us to zero down on the person who is more likely to be the person who makes the decision and reviews my resume and makes the decision whether to move forward or to reject. Okay, and this is usually the recruiter of that company, right? So what I'm going to be teaching you to do on LinkedIn right now is to very quickly filter in through all the company's employees. Okay, find the person who does recruiting for the company and drawing their attention. Okay, like waving a flag and say, hey, I'm here, look at me, I'm your candidate. Okay, look no further, and let's see how we do it. Okay, so and of course, I'm assuming that we don't have any prior knowledge about like the people who do recruiting for that company. So like I showed you, okay, we can click on this part, okay, and LinkedIn gives us some insights about all of the company's employees, 1,700 employees. That's a lot, but fortunately, LinkedIn gives us some great tools in order to filter this very quickly and get to the people we want. Now, how do we do this? Hold on, let me show you. All right, okay. So may I draw your attention, please, to this part of the screen, okay, which is called filters, okay? So right now you have 1,700 employees of Taboola, okay? You see here, people and Taboola. But with clever usage of filters, in a matter of a few seconds, we can dramatically filter this list. How? First of all, let's go to locations. Clicking on this, and let's put a check mark under Israel and see where it takes us. Okay, Taboola is a global company. All companies have some presence in Israel and outside Israel. So let's first look for their Israeli employees, and I click on show results, and let's see where it takes us. So from 1,700 employees, drum roll. 700 employees. Okay, we just eliminated 1,000. Okay, so we're pretty much on the right track. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is, and it's not really trivial, you go to the search box again, okay, and you just type in 2 letters, HR, human resources, okay, and then you just hit enter on your keyboard. And when you do so, you're actually telling LinkedIn, hey, LinkedIn, from all those 700 results that you just gave me, I want you to give me just those who have the word HR in their profile. Hitting enter. From 700, we're down to 40. All right, here's progress, right? Good. So now let's take a look at those search results. 40 is still a lot. So I'm going to be reviewing with you today the first 10 results, okay? But I'm going to be teaching you some rules of thumb that can actually help you to find who the right person will be to contact, okay? So let's take a look at a little bit about the people that we have here, okay? We have Nurit Nitzan, she's an HR director. We also have Neta Ram, who's an HR business partner, okay? So first rule of thumb, you need to look for the less senior people, okay? Don't connect with directors or vice presidents or what have you, okay? Go lower, as low as possible in the food chain, okay? Because if we face it, you know, the highest likelihood of the person who will be laying their eyes first on your resume, it probably won't be the high managers, right? Probably will be someone who's lower than that. So between Nurit and Neta, I would probably choose Neta because she's a business partner and Nurit is a director. Okay? Now let's scroll down some more and see other people. Maybe we can find a better candidate other than Neta. So we have Tal, who's an HR data analyst. Not really sure what that means, but doesn't really sound like recruiting. We also have Lilach, who's another HR business partner. Okay. Equivalent to Neta. Scrolling down some more. We have HR business applications expert. I don't know what that is. We have a business management postgraduate, whatever. HR director. We have a product manager too. And look at this. We have a Das guy who's a senior global talent acquisition partner. Okay? So why are we doing this? Because some companies call it, in some companies, they have a dedicated recruiter. And sometimes they call it talent acquisition. That's the current euphemism for calling recruiters, because our profession doesn't have a lot of good reputation. So we figured out that if we change the name, maybe people will treat us otherwise. But so some companies have people whose title is specifically recruiter or talent acquisition. In some companies, it's just one of the umbrella of responsibilities of HR. So it's better to look for HR and then just look through the results. If we find someone whose actual title is talent acquisition or recruiting, great, okay. But if we don't, let's go and find out with the less senior HR person that we find in that company. Okay. Now, like I said, when we were looking for people who are our first connection, we had the option to message. But right now, we don't have the option to message at all. It's just connect, okay? And the purpose of what I'm showing you right now is like I said in the beginning, we want to draw the attention of a certain recruiter in that company, okay? So they will not just view us as one of 30, one of 50, one of 100. They will, we hope, dedicate a little bit more time to reviewing our candidacy and calling us for an interview. Now, so we don't have the option to message, just to connect, okay? And so what do? Look what happens when I'm clicking on the connect button. Okay, let me just clear this. So when I'm clicking on connect, and by the way, this is only on desktop, not on mobile, okay, just on LinkedIn desktop, it says add a note to your invitation. Personalize your invitation by adding a note, okay? And here you have two options, send without a note or add a note. What happens when I click on add a note? Voila, a text box appears and you can actually send a message, okay? One caveat is that it's limited to just 300 characters, but 300 characters are definitely enough for what you'd like to write to this person, because you must be clear, concise, and short.
But they don't, if they don't respond, you can't actually follow up. It doesn't allow you to get another message box.
It will allow you, and I'll show you how.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you how. Okay, but first, let's talk about the message. How do we message? How do we utilize this 300 character limitation wisely? Okay, so I recommend you that your message will include 3 parts: intro, context. Who knows what CDA stands for?
Call to action.
Great, Tiago. All right, you get 1 point. Great. CTA stands for call to action. These are the 3 ingredients that I really recommend you to include in your message to the recruiter. Now, let's take a look at a sample of really roughly, or how should it be looking like. So first of all, intro. Hi, my name is Asaf Yafe, and I am a marketing expert with 10 years of experience in the software industry. Okay, plain, simple, informational. Next, we go to context. I just applied for the role of a senior marketing associate. Just copy and paste it exactly how it shows like in the job page. Okay, sometimes it also comes with this combination of digits and letters, right? Okay, and listen closely, call to action. I'd be glad to meet in person to examine my potential fit for the role. Okay, let's go through each and every part of it to understand why we're writing this. Okay, and again, I'll do it a lot today. I'm taking you, put yourselves in the shoes of a recruiter that reads this message. Okay, the whole purpose of this message is to make things as easy as possible as it is for them, to spoon feed them. Okay, so the first one is intro. Okay, hi, my name is
Is it okay to write English, because it's Israel and people like to speak Hebrew here, and
okay. Well, if you command good Hebrew, then go ahead. Okay, but I assume that most people here still don't have.
no, I mean, if I'll be writing in English, will it mark myself as a person who is Ole Hadash, who is not like Hebrew speaking as good as you? Things that I told before.
Yeah. First of all, if you ask me, Nikita, I don't think that the fact that you are an Ole should be hidden in any stage of the process. Okay? It's not, it's not a disability, it's an advantage. Okay? Remember that, please. So nothing to hide. This is kind of like your first chance to impress. Okay? So if you trust your Hebrew to be good enough for this, write it in Hebrew. If you don't want to make a bad impression by having typos or bad grammar or what have you. So use the language that you command the best. Okay? Okay. So going back to the structure. And again, I'm going to read this from the eyes of a recruiter. Okay? Hi, my name is Asaf, and I am a marketing expert. Okay, by the time she reads this, ping, there's a light bulb, a virtual light bulb above her head. Ooh, a marketing expert. We have marketing roles. Okay, let's continue to read. With 10 years of experience, ping, another light bulb. We have a senior role. Okay, and recruiters think our first way of thinking is like sizing you based on the number of years of experience that you have. Okay, because we have different roles in different levels of seniorities, and the basic of the basic is to differentiate those levels of seniority with years of experience. So when you're telling them right up front, I have this number of years of experience, it immediately puts you in a place where the recruiter can size your seniority level potential. Okay, so it's very important to put it right up front. I'm a marketing expert with 10 years of experience in the software industry. This is also important because if you remember, we talked about how when they read your resume and they look at your companies, they can really associate them, right? What kind of company is this? Is it a tech company, not a tech company? I don't know. I never heard of it. Okay, so you tell them, I'm in the software industry or in whichever industry you came from, right? That also sends a signal. Now, so that's the intro. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So what if your experience actually comes from different industries? Let's say you spend 5 years in financial sector and then you spend 5 years. I mean, you may have one role or one type of role, but in different companies from different sectors.
So it's really up to you, Aviva. You can, if you think this is one of your advantages, you can write in multiple industries.
Okay.
Okay. Or if you have like 2 industries where you predominantly spend your career in, include both of them.
All right.
Okay.
Good to know. Thank you.
All right. Again, signals. Okay, you're sending them clear signals. Here's how to interpret my experience. Okay, that's the core. Here are the core things that I bring to the table. I'm in marketing. I have 10 years, and these are the industries that I have the most experience in. Right? That's the intro. And if by that time, okay, things start falling into place, okay, chips start falling from the jackpot machine. I'll be using a metaphor, okay? So then comes the context, and much more chips are falling from the jackpot machine. Why? because you write to them, hey, and you know, let's and again, I'm putting yourself in the mind of a recruiter. She reads that, all right, marketing, 10 years software, potentially relevant. Now, this company might have several marketing roles, right? So instead of like, oh wait, maybe this person can be relevant for that position or that position, you're just creating certainty. Hey, I just applied for this specific role, okay? You don't have to think anymore. I'm spoon feeding you. Hey, here's me, and here's the specific role that I've applied to that I think that I'm the best match against. Okay? Now, in the CTA, you're being smart. Why? Because the role of a recruiter, in actuality, it's pretty simple. Okay? I don't know why they pay us so much, right? But it's pretty simple. We need to match people against open positions. If they're a match, let's put them in the process and get them hired. It's really simple. Okay? So you're telling them, hey, look at me. I just sent you a message. Okay? I'm a candidate. Here's my core capabilities. Here's the role. Now, here's what you should do about it. Okay? Here's exactly what you should do. And I know you need to fill roles. I know you need to find people to fill roles for. So here's what you should do. Call into action. I'd be glad to meet in person to examine my potential fit for the role. This has two parts. Okay? The first part is very important. I'd be glad to meet in person. Because as I told you before, okay, as long as people are treating you as a resume document, okay, you don't stand a lot of chance. But if people are seeing you as a living flesh and blood human being who can actually talk and impress and explain, okay, that puts you in a whole different place. So your goal in every role that you're applying to is, hey, let's meet. Okay? I want to meet you. I want to talk to you. Okay? When you meet me, when you talk to me, you will see that I'm a fit for the role. I already know it. Okay? You have a chance to know it too. Okay? How you will do it? You will meet me. Now, this invitation to meeting won't always be accepted. Okay? Sometimes you will get just a phone call. Okay? But even a phone call gives you an advantage. Okay? Not just a meeting. A meeting is probably the best scenario. But even a phone call really puts you in a different place. And the second part is really smart because it says to examine my potential fit for the role. Okay? To examine my potential fit for the role means that it already plants the notion in someone's mind that, you know, the context of that we're talking here is I'm a fit for the role. Okay? You will know it. How? Call me in for an interview or just call me. Let's meet. Okay? This is how you cater for how a recruiter views her world. Okay? We need to match people against positions. How do we do it? We interview them. So here's everything ready for you. Here I am. Let's talk. Let's meet. And you can fill this job. Plain simple. Okay? Recruiting is not that complicated, actually. And I have a nice, you know what? Just, I don't. So first of all, I'm using an AI tool called Writer. It's actually, this is how it's called. You can use it too. I think it's free. Now, it gives you the option to like rewrite with AI your text. Magic. Ooh. Yeah, but this is not really good because it's long and it's also wordy. Okay? Greetings. No one talks like that in Israel. Greetings. Okay? Casual, informal, okay? To the point. Okay? This has taken something that was nice, concise, and elegant. But you have a few options here. This is nice. Okay? So fiddle with this. Oh, look at this. Shorten or simplify. Nice, nice. But again, it uses words that most Israelis, by suitability for the position. I don't like this. I like the word fit. Maybe you simplify. Yeah, well, AI still have some places to go, but you can use it for your benefit. Okay. Questions up until now?
Do
All
you
clear?
well, when you apply for a role through like the apply button on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
And you've already applied for it, is it too late to write them a message, or is it like the
Oh,
ideal time to write them a message?
No, that's exactly when. Okay, you first need to apply because, listen, this message may not be answered immediately, and that's fine. But so as long you're making them calm that your resume lies somewhere in their CRM system or in their inbox, okay, they know. Okay, they can, at their convenience, maybe they're busy right now, but at their convenience, they can access their database or their or look up your name, read more about your resume. Okay, it's there. I already made the work for you. You can find my resume. It's in your database.
And I assume that if it says on the LinkedIn job position description to apply by email, even though it's got an apply button, you do both.
Mm-hmm.
You can do
yeah,
both.
why
Okay.
not? You need
Okay.
to make yourself visible. Use every means of communication.
Okay. And when you write an email, like a cover letter, you're doing this as well. You're doing these three. That's what you're putting in.
It's 2024. No one reads cover letters, especially not in Israel. You write a cover letter when you want to apply to Harvard. Not
Okay.
Israeli.
But they do ask for it sometimes. So it's like, what do you do?
Israeli companies are looking for cover letters.
Yeah, sometimes they say, yeah, and add your cover letter. So, like, what do you put in
Really?
there? Like, yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, that's new to me.
Sometimes it's mandatory required to submit a cover letter also.
Okay. Well, this is an insight for me then. That's a new insight for me. So I can't say anything about cover letters because, well, maybe like I'm definitely aware that there might be other industries. I work for a software company in the tech industry, so we don't have that, but some other industries might have that, but I can't really give you any advice on that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if the position I'm applying to has like a HR person that's in LinkedIn that's like this position, and this is specific HR person? Should I write to that person?
Yeah. So what you're asking is, for example, when we're looking for LinkedIn jobs, if I'm understanding you correctly, Rostislav. So when we're looking for jobs on LinkedIn, we have some jobs that already have populated into them the name of the person who does recruiting. Let me just show you how it looks like so everyone understands. Okay, so let's have a look. Come on. So until it loads, I'll just say this, Rostislav, that whenever you have this person's name, it really saved you a lot of work. You can actually go ahead and message them. If they will be the ones who will be reviewing your application. Okay, so just so we understand what Rostislav is asking about, so this is how a LinkedIn job post looks like. Ooh, and you see this? Meet the hiring team. Okay, meet the hiring team and list, and you can actually message this person even though she's my second connection, which is nice. But not all jobs have this. This one, okay, here I don't have meet the hiring team. Here I had it and I can message. So if I'm going to be applying to this role with Phoenix Holdings, I will actually have to click on Phoenix Holdings. Okay, and again, look at maybe I have someone who works here, okay, which is great. But even if I don't, click on them on listing all these people in the company and choosing Israel as a location. I'm doing this quickly and just typing HR here. 47 results. Okay. Again, let's repeat this process. We have senior HR manager. We have this person who says talent leadership learning, which is interesting. Head of HR, definitely not. HR business partner, interesting. Project manager, HROD, leadership learning, I don't know what that is. And Bachovav, talent acquisition manager. All right, you see? And if we look some more, we have a project manager, a human resource specialist, senior VP. Okay, I'm going to be wagering on Bachovav here. And some people will actually use add I'm hiring to their name. Okay, so it's like James Bond. My middle name is Danger. Okay, so this is probably the one you should be connecting to a message. Okay, more questions.
I have a question. For example, I've sent a resume to the company which wasn't successful previously, but time passes. I'm mastering my skill of writing resumes and etc., etc., etc.
Yep.
So is it okay to apply the second time with a different resume to the position which is close to that one in which he wasn't successful?
Okay. So what is the question? I'm not sure.
The question is, isn't it seems odd to send another CV on the position, actually the same position or quite the same role previously if he wasn't successful?
Well, if it's the same role and it wasn't successful, so why reapplying for the same role?
My CV wasn't adopted to the Israeli market at all.
Yeah. Look, I mean, this is kind of like strays away from the topic of our conversation today, LinkedIn. But look, I mean, I don't like these talks about adapting your CV, but that's just me and that's just my stuff. I know the people in Gvahim are talking about it, which is fine. But I don't know. To me, there's so much you can adapt your CV. Eventually, you're the same Ludmila with the same experience, okay? So nothing radical probably changes about your CV. Just a few words here, a few words there, you know. But that's all I'm going to say about this because it's a little bit of like off topic from what we're talking about today. Okay. All right. More questions?
Asaf, I want to go back and clarify something. So when you do have a first connection and you are reaching out to them, asking if they can refer you, then do you just wait until they can respond back? Or do you apply?
Okay, good question. Yeah, good question. Thank you, Viva. So I would strongly recommend each and every one of you to be more systematic on how you do this. Document it. Okay? Document it in some kind of spreadsheet. Okay? So you'll know that, you know, if this person doesn't get back to you, so you probably should either look for someone else who works in that company or just go the other route, like I showed you. Okay? And by the way, it shouldn't necessarily be, I mean, you can also use the LinkedIn messaging here to look at all your messages and scroll back, but whatever works best for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. More questions? Okay, so now I give you a task. Let's see if I need to give you a task. I'm just opening my incoming connection requests. I'm on LinkedIn. All right, good. So that's a great example that you see here. Why? Because some of you have already sent me connection requests, which is great, by the way. I'll be glad to connect to each and every one of you, and I think it's a very good practice that you should connect to anyone new that you meet. Okay? Professional, social occasions, whatever. Connect, because you never know if they might be your leeway to your next job opportunity. Okay? So here we have 3 connection requests that I got from Ekaterina, from Maxim, and from Daniel. Okay? And you can already see that something really stands out when you're sending a connection request with a message and without. Okay? We're talking about like the screen the screen space, the screen real estate that it takes. Okay, if I compare Daniel's request to Maxim, you can see that Daniel's request takes more space on my screen. It actually draws my attention to it first because there's a message here. Okay, and LinkedIn also gives me prompts here, whereas for Maxim, this is just like ignore or accept. For Daniel, it says reply to Daniel. Okay, and even before I choose to ignore or accept, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure about this, but LinkedIn tells you, hey, it's okay. You don't have to make a decision now, but you can just start talking to Daniel, which is great for you, okay? Because again, you want to draw this recruiter's attention to you right now. Forget about all the 30, 50, 100 applicants. You want to be on their center of attention right now, and you tell them, hey, look no further. You find your great candidates, okay? Call me in for an interview and let's get the show running. You don't have to go through like 100 candidates right now. Here I am, okay? I save you time. So that's one thing. Now, another thing that is also very worth mentioning here is this. When I am, let's take a look at 4. Oh, we have some more, great. So let's assume that I'm accepting Igor's connection request right now. When I click on accept, okay, LinkedIn says Igor is now in connection, message, that's all. Okay, but I want to show you what happens when I'm clicking on Daniel's connection request that included the message. Okay, pay close attention to my screen, clicking on accept. And look at this, there's a pop-up window here in the bottom that looks like a chat box. And it immediately draws my attention to it, okay? And it says, Daniel Karp, loved your Gvahim LinkedIn presentation. And LinkedIn says, write a message. It's like, LinkedIn just tell me, forget everything that you've been doing up until now on this screen. Daniel Karp needs your attention now, okay? I can write a message. I can even use some canned responses that LinkedIn gives me if I don't feel like writing a message from scratch, okay? This is really where you want to be, okay? You want the person to whose attention you'd like to draw to drop every other thing that they're doing right now and talk to you. I mean, we're human beings, okay? That's what we do, okay? We're not robots. Talk to me. Great, Daniel. And if you start the conversation rolling, okay, that's how you prioritize yourself in the search, okay? Because as I said, you're saving the time. If I'm waking up in the morning and I see, oh my gosh, I need to go through 100 resumes right now, you know, this is going to be so excruciating. I don't know when I'm going to do this. And on the other hand, someone sends me a message, say, hey, what's up? I'm a marketing person, 10 years of experience. I applied. Let's talk. I'm thinking to myself, all right, here's my first win for the morning, right? I'm creating an interview. I don't have to go through 100 now. And moreover, if I'm not sure, okay, if I'm debating, this is also a great advantage that LinkedIn gives you because they don't have to look at your resume. With a click of a button, here's Daniel's LinkedIn profile. And I can potentially get all the information that I need to make a decision about Daniel, about calling him in for an interview based on his LinkedIn profile that contains, hopefully, mirrors all the information that's included in Daniel's resume, right? And another thing that you must take into consideration is that your LinkedIn profile is not a document, because a resume document is like something that is a standstill. It's usually a PDF or even a Word document. You just read it. And with a LinkedIn profile, you can interact. For example, okay, I see that Daniel came from Melbourne, and I see that he worked for this company, Oakton. If I was reading Daniel's resume, I would say like Oakton, never heard about them. I don't have any other information, whatever. But here, with a single click of a button or a tap of a finger, bang, I know some more information about Oakton. It's an Australian full-service digital advisory and technology solutions organization. Amazing, great. I get some info. I can also visit the website. It's so easy, okay? And same exactly goes for Daniel's education, okay? Well, I never heard of UNSW, okay? It might be a good university, I don't know, okay?
It's a top 40 university in the world.
All right, so, well, what do you know? I'm clicking on UNSW and I'm getting this, okay? They want to promote themselves, right? University of New South Wales, one of Australia's leading research and teaching universities. That's amazing. All of this is information that they will have zero knowledge about if they read your resume. Your best interest in most of the cases will be to have recruiters reviewing your LinkedIn profile rather than your resume, okay? So that is why you should be as interactive as possible with recruiters on LinkedIn. It gives us a much easier way to size you, to examine your background, okay, and to make a decision and to interact with you, because a resume, a resume comes with an email, a phone number, which are great, okay, but it requires me. LinkedIn just tells you, hey, message, bang, you're there. You don't have to leave this window even, okay? You click on message and you have a layover. You can chat with the person. That's the best thing since sliced bread for recruiters, okay? Remember, that is, and every recruiter, and another thing, another insight that I want to give you, okay? If I just got 10, even just 10 resumes of applicants, okay? And I need to go through 10 resumes, those resumes will be formatted differently with different fonts and different orders, okay? And I need to kind of like calibrate myself each time to find the information that I need in these documents. It's not the same on LinkedIn because all LinkedIn profiles are shaped uniformly in the same way. The experience is always here, okay? And the education is always there. It's always in the same order. And moreover, LinkedIn is so convenient because you don't have like huge blocks of text, okay? You get the first two buttons and then you can click on see more if it interests you, okay? Everything is getting truncated and that works in your favor, okay? A resume that's like a giant box of text with a lot of information in it, it's like, it like gives me like temporal blindness, okay? Where do I focus first? LinkedIn actually solves this. And that is another very strong argument for you to prefer shooting your LinkedIn message and using LinkedIn to interact with people as much as possible. And if you don't have a link to your LinkedIn profile in your resume, then that's probably the first thing you should do after finishing this workshop. Okay? All right, questions?
For many people from Russia, it's a problem with all these connections with universities and enterprises and previous workplaces because LinkedIn is banned since 2017. And how, for example, I graduated from quite a good university, how you can understand it? Or that my advertising agency that I used to work was really successful?
Yeah. Well, that's just like a given. We don't have a lot to do to solve for this, right? But I see Ural State University. I can click on it. Okay. And well, it's written in Russian letters, but I can quickly just, translate it. We have Google Translate, so. Okay. And I can just, Google it and see that it was second oldest university in the Middle Urals. I don't know what it has to say, but getting some info, right? People are tech savvy, I hope. And Maxim Gorky is a respected individual. Okay. Okay. All right. Nick?
Asaf, you have a lot of connections. I can't even connect with you. I have to follow you now. What do you do when you run into that?
No, you don't, because you can actually connect to me. It's just it's well hidden. So first of all, yeah, it's true. I'm very close to the threshold of maximal connections on LinkedIn, which is 30,000. Don't hold your breath. But when you view my profile, you just need to click on more and then choose connect.
Got it.
Okay, the default is follow. Okay, so with that, I would like to move to the second part of my workshop today. And up until now, we talked about how to be proactive on LinkedIn. And now we're going to be talking about how we can optimize our LinkedIn profile so it will be more easily noticed by recruiters and headhunters, and to enable us sorry, not necessarily to keep on chasing after jobs, but actually having jobs coming to us. Yes, it is possible. Okay, it is possible. Many recruiters like me are using LinkedIn as a database where we can search, and already demonstrated the capabilities to you, right? LinkedIn gives us a very easy way to size a certain talent pool, okay, and use very specific keywords to find out exactly people with the combination of skills that we're looking for, okay? So many recruiters today, by the way, recruitment, as the way we described up until now, which is business of companies posting jobs and people applying to jobs, is only part of the picture, okay? Let's call it recruitment 1.0, okay? Recruitment 2.0, okay, and which more and more companies are the way that more and more companies are engaging in talent search, is actually, yes, we're posting jobs, but that's not enough. We're actually using LinkedIn to do very intricate searches and find exactly the talent that we need and not waste time, okay? So that is why you should, and all of you should, optimize your LinkedIn profile for the best visibility and include as much information as possible, so your keywords, that is, so your profile can be intercepted by those recruiters and headhunters that are looking for people with a very specific combination of talent. Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at how you go to edit your profile. Pretty easy. You go to me here and you click on view profile, and then you're taken to your profile. This is mine, and you have a lot of pencil icons going around here. Each pencil icon, when you click on it, enables you to edit one portion of your profile. Now, the first thing that what do you think is the first thing that people are looking at when they're reviewing your LinkedIn profile?
Your photo.
Your photo, exactly. Thank you, Daniel. So your photo or any visual element is immediately attracting the eyes of the people who are looking at your profile. And I would like us to talk a little bit about your profile photo, okay? Because your profile photo is like a kind of like your ID that goes with you to every place where you appear on LinkedIn, okay? When you appear on search results, okay, you always see profiles in search results with their photos, okay? When you appear on when you're sending someone a connection request, okay, you also appear there with your profile photo, as we saw before, okay? As you see here, hold on. Come on, LinkedIn, don't be so slow. All right, okay, profile photos here. Another thing you should take into consideration is that your profile photo can be appearing also on the left column, the right column of the screen that goes people also viewed, okay? When someone's looking on a total stranger profile photo, LinkedIn profile. And also, if you scroll down some more, LinkedIn also gives you recommendations of people you may know. Why is this existing on LinkedIn? Pretty much because LinkedIn wants to help me and help its users. it kind of thinks, okay, so if you're looking at this profile and this person interests you, allow me to offer you 5 more that resemble this profile that might also interest you, right? So these all are places where your profile might appear. And competition is tough, people. The competition, I'm talking about competition for attention, because in every place there, you do not appear by yourselves, okay? There are many other people here in the search results or in the connection request page, or just with the 5 other people also viewed. You need to stand out. You need to make yourselves noticed. And you want the person who views, ooh, 5 people also viewed, let's take a look. You want their eyes to be attracted to your photo first, before they look at the other 4. How do we get to this? Okay, couple of tips. First thing, your profile photo should be a clear headshot where your facial features are clearly visible. Eyes, nose, mouth. Okay, psychological studies have shown with like eye trackers that people's attention is always drawn first to images of people where their facial features are more visible. And there was a great example here, for example. Okay, if we see here both Rostislav and Gregory. Okay, so for Rostislav it's a headshot. I can see his eyes, nose and face, nose and mouth. Okay, but Gregory actually included here like a torso shot. Okay, you can also see his shoulders and hands and what have you. Okay, it's not bad, but my attention psychologically, I can control it, will first be looking at Rastislav, because Gregory is further away from the camera and I can barely see his facial features. I can see that they have pretty similar models of glasses. That's nice, but that doesn't get me anywhere, right? So I would strongly recommend each of you to include a headshot. Zoom in so your facial features will be visible. That's one tip. Second one is, I strongly recommend you to smile at your profile photo. Okay, smile wholeheartedly. Let your teeth show. This is also backed by psychological researches. People's attention is more easily drawn to smiling faces than to faces that are not smiling. Okay, you can see Ariela here, nice big smile with teeth. Okay, I can look at my example. I know I can do better. Okay, I'm not perfect, like Gvahim says. I still have time to improve myself, but definitely, and you can see this. Okay, I mean, if you look at these search results, for example, okay, you can see Nurit is smiling and Lilach is smiling, everyone's smiling, and for a very good reason, because you want people to be attracted to your LinkedIn profile. Okay, and it's a very human thing to do, to welcome someone with a smile when they first see you. So that's like your personal ID. Smile. You want people to perceive you as a positive person, so why not smile? Okay, so please make your profile photo include your best shot of you with a whole hearty smile. Okay, and the last thing that I want to tell you is, people usually ask me, what should I be wearing in my LinkedIn profile photo? The answer is pretty simple. Wear what you would wear to your next job interview. Okay, pretty easy. You should look professional. And for those of us who have pictures with a suit and a tie, looking at you, Gregory, I'm not sure if that's a tie there, but that's definitely a blazer. So it's Israel. We're a country with a very hot climate. So unless you're an advocate or someone who works as an investment banker, you don't wear a suit and you don't wear a tie to work. Okay, so consider. I'm not saying drop it, okay, but just take it into consideration what message you'd like to convey. Okay. All right. Questions about the profile photo? Oh, clear. All right, let's move on. So the next visual element that is also eye-catching in your profiles is also your cover photo. okay, as you see here. And here, I don't have any tips for you, except please include a cover photo, okay? Don't let your profile look boring, okay? I can take a few examples. Let's open the profiles of Mariela, Rastislav, and Gregory. And let's see what they have. Don't be offended, please. I'm taking you, it's with a smile, right? As a good example. So, all right, great. So Ariella, great cover photo. Nice sunset. Okay, maybe it's even the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know. Let's see what else we have here. Let's get some ideas. Okay, Rastislav has a lot of binary code there. All right, because he's the person, he's a software engineer. Amazing. And finally, Gregory. All right, we have some metal here, okay, which is also great. But again, I'm not judgmental at all. You have, as long you have a cover photo, that already separates you from people who don't put cover photos, which are deemed as boring, okay? Use your cover photo to convey a message, any message really, but please include one. All right, let's move on. So the next thing that actually accompanies you everywhere where your profile is shown on LinkedIn, except your photo and your name, is also your headline, okay? Your headline is also very important. We had some experience in headline, in looking at headlines when we're looking for HR people, right? We're kind of like differentiating it. So your headline is also very important to fine-tune to best fit who you are, okay? I mean, by default, it's going to be your last job with your last employer. So if you're unemployed right now, you obviously should be changing it, right? Now, how do we do it? Pretty easily. You click on this pencil icon, and very quickly scrolling from your basic info, first name, last name, you have your headline. For me, it's talent acquisition and Intuit, driving AI ML innovation. Okay, and let's take a look at some of you. I already have 9 connection requests. All right. So we have Aviva, organizational development, learning training specialist, executive coach, brand and motion designer. Ariella is an account manager in Centurion Solar Energy. Ariella, do you still work there? Not anymore. So that's not really something that really represents you well, okay? And again, taking into consideration that this appears anywhere where your profile is visible, okay? Now let's have another look. Okay, so if you look at Rastislav, this is interesting because Rastislav writes software engineer. He also lists some of the those of us who are non-technical, those are programming languages, okay? And he writes here, looking for a job, okay? And also Kirill, looking for a job, okay? And this is great, okay? Why is this great? This is great because, as I showed you, your headline goes together with your name and profile photo anywhere on LinkedIn, okay? So you are now looking for a job, okay? And if you come across people who are looking to hire, okay, this is another thing that immediately draws the human eye to your profile first, okay? I mean, if I have like random, well, not random, but if I have 10 search results of people who are, and let's assume that I'm looking for software engineers who specifically have the combination of .NET, C#, SQL, and React, okay? I might have 10 search results, okay? But how many of those are currently open for considering a new job? I don't know, unless I see someone like Rostislav who plainly puts it in his headline and says, looking for a job, okay? So this is, I think that this will serve a great purpose for everyone here if you edit your headline, okay, and add something like looking for a job, open to work, okay, seeking my next challenge, or whatever, however you'd like to phrase it, okay? This is something that is very prominent, and you should be using this, okay? Questions about the headline? Clear. All right.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah.
Should I put, like, for example, I'm a data analyst, and for different companies, they can call data analyst as a product analyst, marketing analyst, business analyst with the same like requirements.
Yeah.
Should I put like through the slash different names of it, like for example, data / product / marketing analyst, or it looks a bit, you know, wordy or something like?
Yeah. So no. Okay. So first of all, I don't think that. I think you should add text. Don't be afraid to add as much text as possible to your headline or to your LinkedIn profile in general. Okay. The more, because in the end of the day, you want to increase the likelihood of you being appearing on search results by recruiters and headhunters. Okay. So I think this thought is really positive. Yes, other companies call my role in different ways. Let me include all those ways, okay? Plus, Ekaterina, I see that you're an analyst, so you probably heard of A/B testing sometime in your life. We might even do this, okay? Do some A/B testing, okay? See how it looks like. See if it helps your profile get noticed more, okay? Don't be afraid to make some to change it and to play with it, okay? It's not rocket science.
Okay, thanks.
Of course. All right. Any other questions?
I have. My question is: should I write my skills in this part?
Well,
no?
you saw that Rostislav did it, okay? And
because these are not skills like in programming. This I don't know how to
again
separate programs. This is just learning.
Try to put it there and see how it looks like for you. If you think that those are skills that are very relevant in the job market that you would like to highlight, yeah, why not?
They're relevant to my position, but they're not. And these are hard skills. But this is like, I'll tell you. This is what the job name contains. So if you are a financial planning analyst, it's strange to write that you are capable to do plans and like forecasting and control this.
Again, you know, you don't have a lot of space here for text, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you include as much information as possible that will help people to understand who you are and what are your core strengths.
Okay, thanks.
Good. Any other questions about the headline?
Yes, but it's probably like I didn't really understand where to put the looking for job part, like which line is the headline, right?
In your headline, yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
I have a question. Do you put your experience inside there? Let's say whatever position with 10 years of experience.
Yeah, definitely. You can include it there as well. Think about the core things that you would like to signal to a potential employer. Okay? If you think you're a senior, if you think that you have 10 years of experience and that really makes you stand out from the crowd, yeah, why not? Definitely. All right. Any other questions about the headline? All right, let's move on then. Good. So another thing that some of you might have noticed, and this is the first thing that people see when they actually click on your profile. So let's assume that you have a great profile photo where you're wholeheartedly smiling and a great headline, and you caught the eye of the recruiter and they're clicking on your profile. Okay. So other than, you know, looking at your location and whatever in these parts, really the first thing that draws people's attention before even scrolling down is this part, open to work. And some of you already have this. I mean, if I'm going back to my, here, okay, you can already see here that people like all these people, Rostislav, Gregory, Kirill, and Dimitri, already put this nice green open to work ring next to their profile photo. And this actually even draws more attention, which is great, okay? You need to draw the attention. You need to kind of signal in every single way that you're open to work. So how do you do this? And so you need to go here to your open to work square, click on this pencil icon, okay? And you can edit this. Now, before we look at this, I want to take like a couple of sample profiles of the people here, okay? When I'm looking at Ariela's profile, so this is what I see first, and very quickly scroll down and see her experience, okay? But when I'm looking at Rostislav, even before I scroll down to her experience, look at this, it's very prominent. It's with a gray background, and it says really useful information to me. Open to work, software engineer, backend developer, full stack developer, technical consultant, SAP specialist roles, and show details. Okay, this is interesting. This is like telling the recruiter, hey, before you even scroll, I'm going to focus here. Okay, here's the focus. This is what Rostislav is capable of doing. You want to know more? Click on show details, and I want to show you how it looks like because it's important. Okay, job titles, location types, locations on-site, locations remote, start date immediately, which is also important, and employment type, either full-time, contract, or temporary. And another thing that is great is that the buttons here are actually all calling to action in your favor, okay? There's no close or cancel button here. There are actually two buttons that goes share profile, if you think this should be shared like with a hiring manager or with another recruiter, or even just like message Rostislav right away, okay? When you have this enabled, you're actually very, again, like I showed you when you message the recruiter, this really saves time and kind of like frames you for a recruiter in a very easy fashion. They don't need them even before they're going through your resume, okay? Why would they go through your resume if this already frames to them exactly who you are, what you can do, where you can work, if you're immediately are able to start, and you can actually, and the call to action here is message or share, okay? Again, this puts you in a great place because this tells, and you see everything behind this became gray. LinkedIn tells you, hey, forget everything that you've been doing right now. Focus on the Rostislav, okay? And do something with this profile, okay? Hurry up. I mean, he's open to work, okay? So that really serves a great purpose here. And another thing that I want to tell you is that it's also, for me, I think it's super great to have this open to work green ring around this, because this sends a message of urgency to recruiters, okay? And I'll explain why. I'm talking to you today as a recruiter. I love my job, okay? Obviously, I've been doing this for a while now. And I love a lot of things about my job, but there's also one thing that I hate about my job. And I'll tell you exactly what it is, okay? What I hate about my job is, I mean, I love LinkedIn. I love the way that it enables me to really slice candidates and find people who are exactly the best fit for what my company is looking for and approach them and getting messages back, okay? I mean, and starting interacting with people. That feels great. But what I hate about it is this: when I found someone who really looks great on paper and I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to message this person, and when they'll get back to me, there will be a great hire. And then they really get back to me. But when I open the message, it sometimes reads like, hey, Asaf, thanks for approaching me. Sounds like a very interesting proposition, but unfortunately, timing could be better. as I'm currently advancing with one of your competing companies and they're extending me an offer. Okay? Usually when I get this message, I need to like close my laptop lid and go drink a glass of cold water. Okay? Why? Because it tells me, hey, Asaf, you think you're such a hotshot, you think you're such a great recruiter? Your competing company has better recruiters because they found this person first, and what could be a great hire for you is a great hire for another company. Why? Because you could have been quicker. Okay? You could have been more efficient. So when I'm doing searches on LinkedIn, like I showed you before, okay? Just a sec. Here we are. And I'm looking at these search results. If I'm seeing someone who has this green ring, okay, I'm telling to myself, Asaf, you better hurry, okay? Because this information is publicly available. It's like you see, I'm sure that a few of you has had the chance to use booking.com to book hotel rooms, right? So booking.com is great at this. They're telling you, hey, Asaf, hurry up because this is like the last room, or 3 other people have booked this room in the last 24 hours, right? When I'm seeing this green open to work ring, I'm telling myself, oh shoot, Asaf, you better be quick because many other recruiters are competing with you on the same talent. And if you're not going to be messaging this person now, someone else is going to. Okay? This is exactly what works in your favor. Okay? You want to get offers. You don't want to spend all your time all day chasing after job sites and applying. Jobs coming to you is great. It's probably even better. Okay? So you need to do everything you can to draw the attention of recruiters. And this is a part of it. Okay? I hope it makes sense. Let's take a look on how it looks like and how do we do it. So again, pencil icon here. And here you can choose job titles, okay? And you can add up to 5 job titles. And I encourage you to add all 5 of them, okay? Just like I was asked before, okay? So just typing analyst here gives you like a lot of suggestions. We have like, I don't know, like 20 different analyst roles, okay? Business analyst, system analyst, senior business analyst, support analyst, what have you, okay? Type different variations of your profession and please add all 5 of them. This will also really help the LinkedIn algorithm to prioritize your search results when people are searching for talent. That's one. Well, location types, I won't go through it, but I will go through locations, okay? When we looked at Rastislav, it says Center District, Israel, Tel Aviv District, and Netanya, okay? And I think Gregory also has this. Yeah, and Gregory lists Tel Aviv, Bat Yam, Holon, Rishon, and Center District, Israel, okay? My advice to you is ditch it, okay? Although it might be tempting to add many areas, okay? I would say do what I do, just Israel. Why? Why is that? Because you don't want to let companies or potential employers pre-assume that because you live in Netanya, your dream job that might just be located in, I don't know, Rishon LeZion, might not be relevant for you because of commute distance. Okay? Don't let them make this pre-assumption. It's your decision, not theirs. Okay? If you're including specific locations here, you're risking companies like discounting you and not contacting you because they think that you might be too far. Okay? Don't let them. Okay? And I'm sure that each one of you, for their dream job, you'll commute. Okay? You'll make this effort to commute because your best interest right now is to resume your professional career in Israel, right? Commute is a consideration. I wouldn't say that it's not, but probably not like number 1 in your list of considerations. Okay? So please also change this and just include Israel. Okay? to maximize the offers that you potentially can. So that's regarding location. Start date, immediately or flexible, self-explanatory, employment type, self-explanatory, and visibility. When you're choosing all LinkedIn members, it adds the green ring to your LinkedIn profile photo. And you can also choose recruiters only, and that is in case you're looking for a job discreetly. If you're currently employed and you don't want to spread it around so your employer knows, then it limits this visibility not to everyone, and you don't get this green ring. Questions about open to work?
Does it matter what you put? So you know that in your title, you can say looking for my next challenge, job, looking for a job. Does it matter what text you write? Are they going to be looking through for different variations of looking? Like
not really sure.
Like the HR people, are they going to be looking at different filters to find you, or are they always looking for next challenge, or which one are they actually usually using?
Well, I'm not sure. Not always. Like, I think really advanced people are actually using these as strings to search LinkedIn. But if you have this toggled, okay, if you have open to work toggled on, I have the option to filter my search results and showing me only people who toggled the open to work. Okay, so that also gives you potential extra visibility or priority in search results. Okay, all right, more questions? All right, good. So let us move to the next part of your profile, which is your about section. Okay, your about section is where you can just put some free text and write anything you'd like about yourselves, and it will appear before your experience. Okay, now my about section is pretty short. It's like 2 sentences, 1 line. But let's take a look at some sample profiles here. And Ariela and Rostislav and Gregory, you're my favorite people today. So let's take a look at what they have and see what we can get. So Ariela, no about section, straight to the business, straight to the experience. All right. Let's see what Rostislav has. Look at what he writes about. Software engineer with 7+ years experience in backend and full stack solutions based on this and all that, all those nice words. Technology consulting, data management, business intelligence, process integration using, etc., see more. Okay, it's usually truncated to the first 3 lines. Let's see what Gregory has. All right, versatile experience in international trade is probably my strongest expertise. I operated on both sides, import and export, purchasing and selling, and even sharing my knowledge with others. I'm business-oriented, capable of finding creative solution. All right. So I swear I didn't plan it in the beginning. You saw I just clicked your profiles straight after the other. But those are like examples of 3 different approaches. So first of all, you must have an about section. Okay, your about section is like your pitch. Okay, it's like the way you introduce yourself. It's the way you frame your story in front of the potential reader, and that's the recruiter, before they go on and review your resume. That's important, especially in light of what I talked about in the beginning of this call about an unfair disadvantage. If you manage to get them to read about who you are, what you bring to the table, what are your core skills, and not just focus on like names of companies and names of universities, you already are beginning to give them the understanding of who you are really. Okay, so that's what your about section is for. Now, so definitely include it. Now, if we kind of compare Rostislav and Gregory, you can see that one thing really stands out with Gregory. I mean, Gregory writes it as if he's talking to the person who reads this, okay? Whereas Rostislav Stone is a bit more, I don't know how to call it, stern or informative, okay? So first thing that I want to give you as a tip here, I strongly urge you to write your about section in the first person tense, just like Gregory did, okay? I, me, my, okay? Use these words. Try to phrase it as if you're introducing yourselves, okay, in the beginning of the interview, or to someone who you never met, who you are, okay? And that's one tip. Please use it. Second thing, which I think is great in Gregory's about section, look at what he writes here. So apart from all this, he writes, enjoy communicating with people. He writes, I admired international business and global trade. Okay, these are not usually things that you see on resumes, right? Enjoy, admire, those verbs. Okay, but I think that these are great on LinkedIn, and by the way, even in your resumes, but I'm not here today to talk to you about resumes. Okay, but verbs or adjectives like enjoy, admire, passionate about, okay, actually send a very strong message to the person who reads this. Why? Again, taking you back to the shoes of the recruiter. I might encounter Gregory's profile as a part of my search for international trade professionals, okay? And I might be reviewing, like in a single session, a lot of LinkedIn profiles with very similar type of background, because I'm looking for a very specific type of skill set, okay? So I might be looking at like, I don't know, 50 LinkedIn profiles an hour, okay? I'm just throwing a number here. And Gregory might be the 51st one, okay? You need to make sure that people who are reviewing your profile, you need to take into consideration they might have already been looking at profiles very similar to yours up until now. And you want them to approach you. You want to kind of move the needle. You want them to say, hey, this person is different. And using words like enjoy, admire, passionate about, what I love about my job, really sends a message of, okay, this person is different. This person has no problem in saying why he likes what he's doing. And that's not a small feat nowadays, okay? I don't, I can easily, and that's like the illusion of abundance with LinkedIn. I can do a search and find 50 logistics experts, okay? Question is, how many of them will really be like, the cream of the crop, the top ones, okay? It's really hard to know from reading a LinkedIn profile or reading a resume, but if I'm reading someone's LinkedIn profile and they're writing about and using the word I enjoy, I admire, I love, I'm passionate about, that sends a message to me. This person loves what he's doing and he's not ashamed to write about it. I need this person. There are 50 logistics experts, but there's one person who actually wrote about what he loves about what he's doing. So probably, I want to focus my efforts on this person. Definitely, I strongly urge you to use these words in your about section. Stand out from the crowd, okay? That's my second tip. Now, the first one was using the first person tense. So if I click on see more here, there is more information here, and let's see if there's more info. Ooh, a lot of more information here, which is great, by the way. Couple things. First of all, not all of you will be capable of doing this, but Gregory, for example, has some numbers to brag about, to show his accomplishments. So I see, just in 5-year time, we brought imports of ceramic steel fibers to Russia from 0 to over 40 feet containers yearly. Turnover of 3.5 million, 2.5 million kilograms. If you have numbers of your accomplishments, percentages or whatever, put them here. Differentiate yourselves, okay? Again, I already looked at 50 logistics experts, but this Gregory here, okay, he shows some numbers to back up his professionality. I like it, okay? So that's the third thing that I want you to do. Now, the last thing that I want you to do is when you're writing your about section, and this is how you do it. You click on this pencil icon, okay? You're looking for a job right now. You want to make it as easy as possible for recruiters to approach you. And if you write your about section well, I want you to write your about section in such a way that a person who will read this will say, oh my gosh, I need to hire this person now, okay? So you must finish your about section with, like, I'm currently open to new opportunities. By the way, I mean, Rostislav wrote it well. I recently repatriated to Israel, etc. And like even some context. And feel and will be glad to talk. Feel free to contact me at email. Okay, your email, WhatsApp. Okay, include as many ways of communication with you so that you can serve the impulse of the person who reads your profile. Because if they're not connected to you on LinkedIn yet, they will have to send a connection message, wait for you to respond, and then start a conversation and moving on to the next candidate. No, you don't want them to move to the next candidate. You want them to stop everything that they're doing and contact you and get in contact with you. Okay, so that's why I strongly urge you, at least so as far you're looking for a job, make it as easy as possible for people who are reading your profile to contact you and to have opportunities coming to you before they come to others. Okay, email, WhatsApp, other things, give people a chance to contact you. Good. Questions about the about section?
I have a question. If you, I remember from the CV that the recruiter only has or takes 20 to 30 seconds to read your CV. So how about the LinkedIn profile? Like how many seconds, minutes they usually take to read it?
Well, maybe the same time, but they can get a lot of information when scrolling down it up and expanding on what interests them most.
So it's okay if the about section is a little bit longer and not only what you see at first glance, basically.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Don't be afraid to make it long. It's perfectly fine. People who will click deliberately on show more, that means that they're interested in reading more about you. They're focused right now on reading more, on gaining more information. Okay. All right. More questions about the about section.
I have one. Do we have to add something personal in there that we are Ole Hadash? Something.
Yeah, why not?
Our hobbies or something else.
Why not? Yeah. Again, when someone clicks on show more, that means that they're interested to know more about you. Okay, that's a deliberate action. It's not like your CV. It's not like as if you're afraid your CV will be too wordy. Okay, LinkedIn has an advantage in this. Okay, it automatically truncates, and people really need to choose where they want to expand.
So I also have to show my personality in there. Yes,
that's great. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Show exactly what makes you stand out among the crowd. Okay, there are a lot of people who do what you do. Show why you're different. Okay. All right. So we only have 1 minute left. Not a lot of time. One thing that I do want to show you is this. I think it was. Oh yeah. Okay. So Ariela and Gregory. Okay, Gregory finished working at August 2023, and Ariela finished working at July 2023. I can only assume that it was consequential to you making Aliyah, right? So you couldn't continue to work for those companies, which makes a lot of sense. But it might send an ambiguous message to potential employers. Why? Because there's no explanation here on why Ariela is not employed for 6 months now. Okay, and it might send an invitation to make wrong assumptions. Don't make people make wrong assumptions about you. Okay, if you're currently unemployed, nothing to be ashamed about it. what you should do is this. Okay, you need to add a new line of experience with this plus icon. And instead of add position, you choose add career break. And when you click on this, okay, you need to choose a type. Usually it's going to be like career transition or relocation, okay, and start date, etc. And here on the description, you have a lot to write about everything that has been keeping you busy since making Aliyah, okay? Elaborate on this, okay? Because I'm sure you've not been sitting idly waiting for opportunities to come to you, right? You've been taking Ulpan, you've been taking the Gvahim course, you've been taking other courses, you've been freelancing, you've taken an interim job doing something else completely. It is also okay. Just show your potential employer that you're not just wasting your time. You're keeping yourself occupied and busy with things that will help you to integrate better to the Israeli job market. Okay? Just lay out the description of everything that has been keeping you busy since you're not working. Okay? This will send the right message of you not being unemployable, or this will send the clear message that the fact that you're unemployed right now is purely circumstantial, okay? You immigrated to another country, not always easy. You have a lot on your plate. You're busy, okay? And you're ready to the next challenge. So I'll stop here. I just talked for 2 hours. And I really hope that you took some actionable insights from this workshop. And I'm welcoming, of course, everyone here to connect to me on LinkedIn if you want. And you can also ask me follow-up questions if you want. My SLA for answering those might be not short, but I promise to get back to everyone.